Hello and welcome back to F1 Manager 24. We have two simulated races, Hungary and Britain, somewhat annoyingly. But then we do have a sprint live at Belgium at Spa. I also feel this is going to be a bit of a mixed bag in terms of results. Because in Hungary at least, our car isn't good. Cornering medium speed, cornering low speed, the recommended and crucial attributes we don't have in spades. We're bang average in both, I think, pretty much. So that's why we are bang average on the grid, despite being third overall. After Hungary are a string of 4 races in a row where cornering high speed is in crucial or recommended. In fact, I think they're all in crucial. 4 in a row where high speed cornering are crucial and recommended DRS is in 2 of them. They're the things that we're first in by a margin. That's what our car is very good at. So in theory, this is the point we need to maximize on. Now, Britain is usually a track where people bring upgrades, and Azerbaijan is after the break, so expect something there, but of course we'll be doing the same. And despite the fact, of course, Azerbaijan says cornering low speed is crucial, top speed recommended for the straight, DRS is also really useful. I think it does overlook, I wouldn't say acceleration is super necessary, but top speed definitely is for the straight. I suppose it kind of goes hand in hand with the low speed corners, but nonetheless, do need to digress there. But it is quite funny how we can be 19th at Singapore, for instance, but first at other tracks, because we are so heavily specialised in high speed right now. So, with that in mind, we do need to simulate Hungary, we do need to simulate Great Britain, 2 regular races. We're on a current refurbishing spree because all of the operation stuff went under without me realising. So all of them are being, or have been, refurbished, in the case of some of them already. Daniel Ricciardo, by the way, is absolutely doing the engagement activities that he's been tasked to do. 4,800 he puts towards that, which saves a lot of problems. I only have to sacrifice the factory. An irrelevant, sorry Miguel, affiliate and Daniel are covering the rest of it. So despite the fact we've got high engagement targets, our affiliate drivers are taking the brunt of that on purpose. Now, let's get into this. We do have to get second overall, so we do need to maximize this, even though we're not great here. I'm expecting better results at Great Britain and Spa. Just gotta get through Hungary, really. Qualifying simulation complete. Continue video, and let's find out the race starting grid. Well, surprise 5th and 6th, considering the car's apparently 11th. And also a very surprise 3rd for Pierre Gasly in the Audi. No Liam Lawson in the top 10. Lewis Hamilton 18th. Sargent 60th. So that's very surprising 3rd for Pierre Gasly then. Lawson 12th. Red Bull still have 2 cars at the top end, which I think they're going to run away with the constructors. Right, okay. Game, why would I send them on tyres that go underneath the 30% mark when there is this much left on the hard? Considering our drivers are 5th and 6th on the road, I am actually happy to let Zane start on the hards, because then that should in theory separate them out for the first pit stops. That means they won't get in the way of each other in this simulated race. I don't know what the AI does in that regard. That's a capitalization on a car that should be 11th. First thing first is, are we going to see a podium? That means Zane's on the podium. Or an AI driver. Could be Antonelli. It could be Antonelli. Yeah, it was probably Antonelli. It probably wasn't Maloney on the podium there. So we'll find out what percentage. Oh, it was Zane. Right. I mean, Pierre drops to 4th. It's still an excellent result. Carlos Sainz has a mare for whatever reason and falls to 7th. That is an atrocious race for Red Bull. Antonelli was 2 laps down. Considering the only drivers out are Hamilton and Fittipaldi. Hamilton again, good lord. Hamilton and Fittipaldi. That is weird. I'm going to guess, because Porsche clearly started towards the front as well, he's down 13 places, that they had a tangle which ruined both of their cars. Because that's the only explanation for them being 2 laps down and behind both Williamses. So it was Zane on the podium that prevented the 30 seconds off Piastri. Jesus Christ. But what happened to Carlos Sainz? Brings Lando up to 3rd in the championship ahead of Antonelli, who didn't score. And very much brings Oscar 20 points clear, thanks to 20 points more here. 3 race wins for Oscar, 4 for Sainz. Lando with the 1, Antonelli with the 1, and Max with 1. Annoyingly, Lawson did enough there to get points and actually pulls them away from us. We need to effectively outscore Lawson by a margin, because I think Piastri's got us. Oh, we actually had crap pit stops. I mean, we were 30 seconds behind. I don't think it mattered at all. But they did come in on the same lap, but they just have different faults. So they're 8 seconds apart on track, so I can't imagine that changed too much. That's a very surprising second and third considering the car. And the design for the suspension is complete now. Silverstone starts in 4 days. There's no way we get it in time for that. Yeah, I'll certainly support our driver a little bit more. Yeah, in terms of strategy, we expected to finish 12th and finish 2nd. So I'll take that. Absolute marginal research on underfloor there, blimey. But a huge tyre preservation suspension, which we won't get in time for the race, but good job of manufacturing your underfloors because we just lost another one there. So side pod was my primary thing here because I wanted to get... See, now it's actually fine to give me a huge percentage. Why was I only getting marginal gains before? Because I actually feel like I can maybe do a 4th spec on something that we lack. Ah, no, it is marginal gains because it's only these ones that we're primary in. I'm building more of the things that we only get marginal gains in, and I hope that it helps build expertise. I don't know why they're suffering more than anything else in terms of part capabilities. Can only assume it's related to whatever we don't have here, really. Yeah, because there's a fair amount of front wing and side pods that aren't present in Design Center or Car Part Test Center. So that's why things like engine cooling were high on the side pods, as you saw as standard. But I couldn't do much with the downforce, because you can only get that through wind tunnel and CFD, which is related on units of testing rather than just raw statistics. Although, mind you, Car Part Test Center does front wing downforce, so nothing does side pods downforce. Jesus Christ, Zane, calm down with your cornering and control combination. Wait, why are you unbalanced? So I gave Carpentier a run out as a development driver at Hungary in place of Lando Norris in P1. This time round, I had an all-British lineup in P1 by letting Abby Pulling ride instead of Zane Maloney. It's nice, gives him a bit of bonus, and it doesn't really affect us in the long run. All of the qualifying, all of the simulated. Feels weird to completely kind of bypass Silverstone, but it's a cloudy day for the race itself. Well then, we were predicted first, and both Audis in Q3 as well. Djokovic in Q3, intriguingly. No Lawson, no Leclerc, no Ferraris at all. Yuki Tsunoda's there as well, I just noticed. Okay, so Leclerc just missed. Leclerc missed out on Q3 with a better time than most people in Q3. Logic. Best Ferrari 15th. Are the Ferraris bad now? I mean, the Mercedes clearly are still, and the Williams are still clearly appalling. But, oh, we have no softs, but we can get away with a 2-stop strategy. A 1-stop is only marginally slower. In fact, a 1-stop is faster, and is pretty much what they would always do with the race anyway. I'm going to be realistic with my strategy here, because in reality, you would probably do a medium to hard at Silverstone, a 1-stop. And it isn't, and it's the same ballpark as the 2-stops, which just then put you in traffic. So here we go. We start first and second. That sounds good. Welcome to Great Britain. I feel really bad that we don't get to see this properly. It's curious to see if Zane's there. Yes. Or another faceless driver. A win and a podium, so that definitely confirms we were both on there. We were predicted first. It wasn't by much. Max Verstappen had a stonking drive back to 4th, so maybe the Ferraris weren't awful. It was just a bad qualifying. I say weren't awful. Hamilton still... So great news for us, actually, specifically, because McLaren had a bad race. Oscar went down 2 places, and Lawson only got up to 10. Unfortunately for those drivers who kind of just snuck in, they all ended up falling out. Tsunoda falls to 11th, Gasly to 14th, Sargent out, which is a bit of a shame, but Charles Leclerc does go in, so has to get more points. Helps Lando, helps Zane, both outscoring Antonelli, which helps them both fight that particular fight, and actually takes us ahead of McLaren. That was a 43-point haul. We didn't get fastest lap, but I think Max got fastest lap. That was a 43-point haul. Maybe Ferraris aren't out of the fight with Haas just yet. It appears to be an RB versus Audi fight for 6th. Now, what was 4 teams on roughly 20-ish points is now 2 teams on 40-ish points and 2 teams on 20-ish points. McLaren and Red Bull overtake us in the pit stop, though. 1.9 was our fastest one there. We take that. Absolutely. That's what we needed. Just in time for the border view as well, I think. Yeah, border views after Netherlands. So sneaking second there is really helpful if we can hold on to it, ideally. And the bordering refurbishment happens just before Belgium. So there's a vote today. What are we doing? Sporting changes. It's hours. It's CFD and wind tunnel hours again. They are voting for a dramatic reduction at the front of the field and a dramatic increase at the back. This helps all teams' longevity. Voting for it, thank you very much. Is that 3 generator drivers in the F3? Oh, Tim! Tim's second in F2. Bogdanovic not far off. Not a good one for Carpentier, though. And I don't think there's enough races for us to be able to get to Belgium. Oh, Taylor Barnard won in Hungary. Adam Pulling was 4th. So overall, Tim takes over the lead of F2. Oh, it's nice. We're actually highlighted here as well with our drivers. Bogdanovic and Carpentier, 5th and 6th. And unfortunately, Abby and Taylor have fallen down in this to what I think are generator drivers and Christian Mansell. Just scouting the 3 people who are better than our current. No buyout fee on him. Interesting. The only one I would consider is Randeep, and he has actually got to 92 before he's run out. So that's why I've scouted the only 2 people better than him, and Diogo's only 1 point better than him. So I think realistically, I don't know. I presume these guys retire. I don't know if they get replaced at any point in the engine. Are these Gen Din? These 2 at the bottom here? He's got 6 months left, but my cost to terminate his contract is 9 million. How the hell have I got him on a ×3, more than ×3? Apparently I could offer him basically his existing contract. I can offer him less money. I'm not quite sure how that one's worked out, but we'll move on. Yeah, I'll keep on with him then. Sure. I've got the news piece for Olivier Carpentier retiring from F1. I will delete that. He should not be retiring at 24. But Ferrari and Lewis Hamilton has announced his retirement. 7 championship wins, 103 race wins, 103 pole positions, 197 podiums. He's not added to that recently. Still 88 rated. I'll probably undo Victor Martin's retiring as well, even though I don't think he's actually ever going to make it. At 26 and 77 rated. You can see the situation with the new suspension. This is Lando. This is Zane. Doesn't really do as much for dirty air tolerance. Unfortunately, doesn't know anything. But tyre preservation, what would be 17th, goes to 1st. This is the kind of jumps we should be getting with the new piece. And then we let the AI catch up, of course. So we've only got the 1, so if for some reason we break it, then we are a little bit stuck. But it does help our top speed overall, which is handy. Doesn't really affect anything else. An absolutely rain-soaked sprint... I say absolutely, actually, it's not that wet for the start of sprint qualifying. Heavy rain for sprint qualifying, light rain on sprint and qualifying, just cloudy for the race. So obviously, we double-check what the weather is doing. It's confusing is what it is, because I think we might have to go at the beginning and the end, because I don't know if we'll actually... Because of the length of the lap, the actual flying lap will be done between here and here. I don't know if that's going to be a net better than at the end. I need to make sure they go immediately, though. And someone's had a mare, so that's a yellow flag somewhere down the line. It's guess who? It's Hamilton again. Good job he's retired. God damn it, Hamilton. What's going on with you? 3 drivers well out of sync. The 2 Red Bulls and the Leclerc for some reason going a lot later. And in fact, actually nobody came out again, I now realise. They were just going at the end. Sainz only just made it. Okay, wetter to start with, marginally. And it just gets wetter, so I need to send them out as soon as possible again. Someone's had an off on their out lap there. It might be Vesti here by the looks of things. Doesn't appear to be actually on the track. It was indeed Vesti. I'm actually going to watch this because we're probably going to get it 1 lap in. I was about to look at the sector times as if I knew what they meant. Our drivers are not that close on track, weirdly. Probably enough buffer that they won't get in each other's way or anything like that, but in reality, they like to give drivers just enough space between them so they don't end up in each other's dirty air. Long term, the slipstream is nice, but with no DRS active, less effective. Or is it more effective because there's no DRS? But around we go. Last drivers on their... Well, last drivers are just starting their flying lap, so 0 chance of running into anyone. Round the final corner, and Lando's already popped in at 146.9. It's 3.5 tenths, which is expected for Zane, because obviously he hasn't got the upgrade, the suspension. Sainz pops in between. Piastri actually goes faster. I don't think I need to worry. I don't think actually anyone's actually going to be able to get out in time again, frankly. So just because of time, sprint qualifying at Belgium, not enough time literally to even do the lap. All's fine. We lose both Mercedes, who did at least make it through originally. Full wets to start the final session. Interesting. Is it going to drop to intermediate? It's 4.3 to start with. It stays that, essentially. If I go marginally down at the end? I think I'll just go if I see people going, because I don't want to be in a situation where we're doing a flying lap when they're doing their in lap, because there's only 8 minutes to go, so you will get caught. I wasn't sure if it's going to be better at the start or the end, but Sainz is gone. I might have just been bluffed by Sainz, if I'm completely honest. No one else has come out. Okay, Piastri's now come out, so really the main challengers are all out now. Gasly's come out as well. Yeah, people are a bit irritatingly spread out, but Antonelli and Leclerc have not come out. But that's kind of okay because we've got to cross the line before we even started flying up, and they're not even appearing yet. So they're not going to get in our way. And Antonelli has damage, so realistically, Sainz and Piastri are the main challengers here. And they come out roughly at the same time. But off goes Lando. Barely see him. Antonelli's just come out. Just in time to maybe get in the way of Piastri. Leclerc's out now as well. Yeah, they literally just come out in front of Piastri. This might be excellent gamesmanship from Red Bull and inadvertently maybe slightly Haas, who are not really in the same fight. But Piastri's just catching Antonelli now out of Eau Rouge, so that might have stopped him. That genuinely might have stopped his progress there for just a split second. Just that hesitation coming out of Eau Rouge is not something you want. But here comes Norris. I think Perez is the last one to start a lap outside of Leclerc and Antonelli, who are now getting in the way of everyone. And across the line comes Norris. It's obviously going to be a slower time than it was on the regular intermediates, as is now full wet, as Maloney actually goes faster than Norris in full wet conditions. That's weird. It has actually marginally got drier here. Sainz comes in, Piastri comes in. I mean, we are going to be front row here, I think, unless Antonelli can pull something out of the back. Don't have time to go again. Antonelli could not. We lock out front row, Red Bull lock out second row. Piastri only 6th because of getting hindered, I think. It's a positive start for the sprint, as somehow, despite being behind at every stage up to that point, Maloney gets the better of him when it matters. It was raining in the VT there, so it is still rain to start this sprint. And all of it, for that matter. So, yep, that's intermediates. No need to faff around there. I'm not going to take fuel out because it is obviously a long lap, so it's a huge amount to take out straight off the bat. But because it's raining, we should be able to recover fuel a little bit better, so I'll just push for longer at the start. I don't think there's anything really to negotiate there.
Here we are, the sprint around Spa-Francorchamps. And it's lights out, and away we go.
As we aim to keep our drivers with 15 points, as Norris gets him immediately off the start line. But then Zane has the better line out of turn 1, and Lando has to fold back in. Lights are flashing for everyone in these rainy conditions. That's a lot of drivers and a lot of noise. Piastri's actually fallen to 7th off the start. Oh, he's got Sargent back. There's been a moment for someone. Is it Hamilton? Lewis? If it's mentality, I might just try and fix his mentality, because Jesus Christ, what is going on with Hamilton? I mean, good job there's no DRS, because Norris is struggling, weirdly, to keep up. I was about to say, Norris is driving away, then I forgot he was actually behind. Lando will have the edge here, though, just because top speed is better on his car. So anywhere where he can utilise that top speed will obviously play into his favour. Already burning the tyres. As Sainz somehow does fastest lap in 3rd. Lando is making a move into Eau Rouge, and I don't like it. That's a yellow flag incident at the start. Albon's gone off. Thank you, Mark Slade, for that notification. But we're too busy looking at our own drivers, really, to interfere with a spin towards the back. I say towards the back, actually, it held up a lot of people. Lando has the line. He's got the drive. He's ahead. We might have good attributes in certain areas, but we are certainly not dropping the Red Bulls, or Porsche, or Piastri. The Audis, however, have fallen away. Gasly and Sargent's remain 7th and 8th, though. Good points for Audi in a sprint if they can hold on to them. In fact, we're pushing the fuel up. We've not actually lost fuel yet. Towards bus stop we go again. Zane's having a look, which I don't really appreciate. Please fold in, Zane. Thank you very much. We've done 2 laps. We've actually still got plenty of ERS, weirdly. Just use a normal amount right now. Off we go again, though. One more lap. Piastri sort of dangling off the back of this. Not weirdly, Porsche is the one that's hanging in better. Zane's not quite there to make a move this time round. The Red Bulls swap over, though. At some point, I think Lando will just drive away. Or not, as the Williams has crashed with Maloney ahead. Oh, Kevin. Oh, it's actually not his fault. Probably. Depends what happens on his inside. No, he's been smacked up the backside by his teammate. Yeah, cool the tyres, boys. Come off the fuel as Sainz gets past Maloney. We'll rewatch that, but straight away, yeah, we're certainly not running away, particularly in wet conditions where we can't utilise DRS or anything like that. Just slingshot ourselves. Yeah, straightforward, really. We're deploying ourselves. That gets Lando ahead of Sainz for now. In fact, being flanked on both sides is Sainz, and we both managed to get him. I wonder if we'll get a different angle here. Porsche's still there, right in the back of Antonelli. And actually, the Audis have come back into this. It's actually now one train to Leclerc in 9th. Sainz develops a fault, irritatingly, in lap 9, which somewhat renders that, but we had dropped him already. As Pourchaire moves into 4th, what's going on with Antonelli? Why is he... I mean, I think he had damage coming in, didn't he? So that's the problem there. Actually, we've regained that fuel, so it needs to run out. Wrong way around. Might as well let them cool that back down again. And obviously bring down the chance of an accident in the process. If I see Sainz making a big charge forward, then I'll obviously panic and send them off again, but that's a big charge forward. 3 laps to go. Redeploy both drivers. We've got the ERS for it. Alex the car in? No. That's Zane. Yeah, Sainz randomly just like a second and a half faster that last lap. So we'll deploy and make sure he doesn't get any closer. Last lap I'll tell Lando notified, but until then we're happy to do it. Just keep it that way around now. No risk, no fuss. Just utilize what ERS we have left. Ended up 7 seconds ahead. Sainz's problem only got worse, and he held up Pourchaire as well. Piastri 6th. I don't know what's happened there. We don't have a slow mode anymore, Mark. Our first sprint race win, in fact. Can we do it in the race, though? We've got to qualify. In fact, the only change in the top 8, weirdly, in the end, was Pierre getting past Logan Sargent. It actually ended how it started. Antonelli got past Pourchaire on the line. Unbelievable. And this starts intermediate again. Joy. I don't think we need him for the race, so we should be okay. Obviously, longer in qualifying, you can do 2 runs. And you want to go at the start anyway, so people are gone immediately. I didn't think they would. We need to make sure we get ahead of them then, which we will do. Took them a while, but we got there. Well, we should be safe for that because the track's only going to get wetter. Sainz, with his fault, evidently having a problem, but actually had some room to improve. Gets himself out of the bottom 6 at least, which is good enough for him to fight another round at least. Hamilton actually doing okay here. Gasly at the bottom 6 though. That's a shame for Audi, who did so well in the sprint. Oh, it's actually dry at the end. Thought doing intermediate banker. Just do an intermediate banker. Slightly worried we'll catch Verstappen, but ultimately this lap won't matter. Probably. Oof. I think Maloney slipstream actually managed to get him the edge there. Now look how close to Lando he is. First time they've actually slipstreamed. I'll slip a set of soft tyres on though, because this is going to go dry. It's all whether or not they actually come out again. Sargent's gone again because he had a mare and he's gone back out on intermediates. He'll get a lap on intermediates. That was a flying lap there. So he actually goes 3rd because he got a much dry period. I'm not seeing anyone come out. There's no point in us going again. We're 1st and 2nd anyway. No point wasting those soft tyres. Both Hasses out. Unfortunate. They've been done by the system there. And somehow it's wet again. Dry out at the end. So we'll just go at the end. Looks like everyone's got the same mindset. Weird that they don't have this mindset when it actually goes wet to dry. It works when it goes from wet to slightly less wet, but not wet to dry. Strange. It's like they're locked into one tyre. And that might be what it is. It might just be like some kind of weird AI calculation that they can't go faster on that tyre because they get locked into one type of tyre. Okay, 2 drivers have gone already. I think it evens out by the time you'd probably do a lap at this point. Get out behind Piastri. So we're ahead of Piastri for sure. We're separated on track, which is a bit unfortunate. Oh, God. Didn't get Maloney to push his tyres on time. Well, I guess it's unsticky mouse button in this case because it didn't actually register a couple of pauses. Lando might be compromised here. I'm not going to go back and do it again. We'll go on board, though. It shouldn't have affected him too much, I don't think. Looking at Maloney, he didn't use ERS until after turn 1 anyway, so the only thing that would have affected him is the fuel for the sake of like 100 meters. That is quite loud. That is quite loud in my head, if I'm completely honest, that engine noises. So far, so good. Only 6 people are on track at all, and one of them's inside Piastri, which is only going to help. Sargent, Antonelli and Perez didn't do a lap at all. I wonder if there's a weird AI thing where if they've run out of intermediate tyres. No, because Lawson must have done a lap on those already to be on 93. I don't know what's happened there. Strange. I mean, it helps us with Antonelli. Snowder pops the lap in first, heading towards bus stop now. Still got a huge amount of battery, weirdly. Actually does deploy the battery this time around coming out of bus stop. 147.9. It's a 10th faster than Lawson. I think Maloney will pip him. That was the difference that first corner cost. That's my bad, Lando. I do apologise. Piastri, I don't know who Piastri's fighting with. I'm guessing Verstappen based... Oh, Piastri actually does go ahead, despite that. Sainz goes ahead. That actually does surprise me a little bit. Yeah, because he was solid amount faster in both of the first 2 sessions, but then they found it in the Q3. Drive for race day, though, finally. And yeah, Spa's weird because it should just be this. Why are you acting like you've only got one soft at all? Oh god, does it think he only has one soft? Actually, probably needed that anyway. Why is a 2-stop faster? Why is an all-out 2-stop faster? It'd be more fun, but why is it faster? Yeah, it just returned all softs because of the. Should have put a couple laps on a medium, but I didn't. And now we got 4 mediums for the race. Oh yeah, this might be more problematic for Zane because he doesn't have the suspension on. So I wonder if he can do 5 push. That's the difference the suspension makes, by the way, right there. He can do it, but only just, and it is still miles faster. Weirdly, does actually force him in on the same lap, so I might actually have to bring Zane in early. It's going to be a fun blast though because starting 3rd and 4th, we've got all to gain.
Welcome back, everyone. The final preparations are now being made as we head into the race. As we get closer to the race, will the McLaren be fancying their chances in this one?
They've done better than expected to be starting 5th. If they keep that up in the race, it'll be an impressive result.
Here we go. It's time to go racing. You can hear the excitement in the crowd here at the Belgian Grand Prix. And it's lights out, and away we go.
Race day at Spa as everything gets unfocused for a second, but away we go. Carbon copy of last time. Actually says push wide, weirdly. That's weird, that's new. Norris is actually ahead though. So despite the fact he was pushed wide, it didn't hurt him at all. And good lord, Lando, what is going on, Lando? What is that drive? What is that? Multiple positions? Why did you just have that drive? How badly was the rain hurting us? Are they pushing at all? Lando's just gone through and gone, bye. I have to wonder if Piastri and Sainz are pushing at all here. What? I mean, he's put a second on and now they're keeping up, but thereabouts. I mean, Sainz is wounded, actually, in fairness. So I think Sainz might have held Piastri back. Because Piastri defended from Norris by going behind Sainz. And therefore they got stuck behind Sainz. And now he's through. And now he's holding Maloney up. Well, he might get in the bus stop, actually. Or go inside of him. Yeah, Lando absolutely slamming that first lap. Yeah, Piastri's closed in a tiny bit there at the end of the lap. So they are pushing. They just got stuck, I think. Massive tyre preservation. He's done a full lap on 5 pushes and he's not got the tyres hot. Maloney's are only marginally warm because he's in dirty air, which he now has DRS to help him get past. Verstappen's in 5th on Lawson's tail and overtaking him for 5th, sorry, I should say. And the second below he's passed, his tyres back under temperature. I can push these tyres and they don't hurt. Watch that again. It is just DRS overtake, but no DRS for Piastri, but just straight up slipstream does help him close in. This is where we should have been fighting from race 1, but weren't. So, Maloney, I'm going to need you to keep Piastri thinking backwards rather than forwards here. Lawson's 6th does make this a less good race for us in the fight against McLaren. If we could both claw in Red Bull, that would be great, but I don't think we will be able to. The Haas's have got to do a bit of a recovery drive as well, because they are much better than 14th, 15th. In fact, I think they've already recovered a little bit, because I think they started 14th, 16th maybe? Gasly out in Q1 as well as someone's gone behind him. So obviously I'd keep the tyres on push, but I do have to come off the other ones, as Piastri stayed with us and stayed in DRS range, so not helpful, but it is a trio, and it is a 2 versus 1 situation here. Sainz is outside of DRS, but might actually get the slipstream, as Hamilton can't catch a break. Mechanical fault now for him. Wait, hang on, Lando just overtook Piastri outside of DRS. I've got the Maloney overtake, but not the... I think weirdly, because they're still pushing, and we're still pushing the tyres, and they're not pushing at all right now. We've just gone goodbye. They're on mediums as well. We've just gone by. I didn't even get the Lando replay, but crucially pulling away from Piastri and Maloney because they're fighting each other now. Lando has a buffer as Perez drops to the back. And they're not doing worse than their predictions, so I might as well just keep them on what they were doing. In fact, honestly, I could probably start conserving Norris now. Piastri develops a fault as we literally overtake each other lap by lap. Yeah, doing okay. In fact, this will actually come back to Piastri time-wise because of the soft versus medium. But if I'm not mistaken, there's one more lap and then we pit him. This is now a trio with Maloney, Piastri and Sainz. Norris has somewhat checked out. I was hoping Piastri was about to get ahead there and turn 1, but he didn't. Right, so we'll watch Maloney go into the pits. It's been relatively straightforward. First stint is just swapping back and forth with Piastri for 13 laps once Norris got clear. I don't feel like you're recovering fuel at an amazing rate, but I don't think it's a bad rate either. Oh, of course it's delayed. Of course it's a delayed pit stop. Why wouldn't it be a delayed pit stop? That's going to cost him. There wasn't really much of a gap, in fairness, but nonetheless, it is going to put him 4 seconds further back than it would be. And fighting with Hasses when he wouldn't have been fighting with Hasses. He'd have been in front of Porsche. You start conserving now. Start conserving for your in-lap, mate. Go full deploy on your in-lap. Norris comes back out in third following that pit stop as he gets a clean one in. All right, Maloney, I'm going to need you to get through these two Hasses. Preferably around them, not through them as well. I need you to do what Lando did on lap 1. How on earth was that pit stop only basically worth 15 seconds of time loss? Or you could go round one of them and then do the other one next lap, maybe. Go on, Zane. That pit stop's absolutely killed your race, mate. Yep, that's Leclerc dealt with as well. Leclerc dealt with and he's just vanished. He's now in exactly the same situation with Gasly and Dragovic in a pair, which is not going to help him in any way, shape or form. As Lawson pits really early, weirdly, as does Leclerc as well. I think he's just overtaken someone in Eau Rouge. Yeah, Dragovic. But he's now stuck because they've done the stupid. All right, please just solidify one of these overtakes so you can get on with it. All right, yeah. Dragovic now completed. Gasly now completed. Gasly now completed. No, he's fallen off Gasly, actually. I don't know what's happened there. No, you're still in a bit of no man's land here, Norris. You're 2 seconds behind. Keep recovering fuel now. Are you going to get Gasly into bus stop? I think you are. And get DRS in the process. All right, no need to push ERS now. I'll pay attention to Norris again once he gets into DRS range of Sainz and Piastri, which he has done, actually. Time to deploy. Absolutely mug Sainz off. Is he going to get Piastri before the corner? He's going to wait for bus stop to make the move. Now, he is was on the outside of bus stop and has folded in ahead with DRS. Now, I don't think he's got the drive, despite the tyre differential right now, which is 91 to 65%. Both drivers have to do a pit stop, so this is all for position. As well, he did get Sargent as well, off camera. He's not going to drop Piastri out of DRS range this lap. Sainz is gone, though. And that's Piastri dropped. We've only got Verstappen and Tsunoda at some point as well. So there'll be a period where they go faster than us, because they'll get their pit stop in first. Piastri's fault gets worse. He might end up retiring from this race. Hamilton gets another mechanical fault as well. Piastri now pits literally a lap, really, or two before Zane does. He was on medium to begin with, so he's gone medium soft, I presume. Yeah. Sainz got a... Well, no, Sainz didn't really get an... He did get a bit of an undercut, but both of them have got faults. All right, in lap. Come off everything, deploy. Because I need you to come out, ideally, ahead of Lawson. If we can sort of get in this ballpark, we'll certainly be ahead of Leclerc. Norris essentially has a free pit stop and comes in next lap. But I don't think you need to recover fuel anymore, mate. If we can avoid a delayed pit stop for Zane, that would be superb. Has Leclerc pitted? Or they just worked away to 7th? Yeah, Leclerc has pitted. He pitted early though, so he might be 2-stopping, weirdly. Which I didn't think it was an AI strategy at all. Well, Cher must be doing the same because he's on softs now. And, like, they've seen some time. All right, Zane, optimal lap. Norris deploy on your in. Norris is about to lap someone in Belgium. Admittedly, it's one of the Williams who crashed into each other. Zane puts a good pit stop on the board, which is helpful. Ends up behind Piastri again. But not Sainz, who is really struggling now with his car. Comes out ahead of Lawson, which is what I wanted. They'll gain on the straight as he gets his tyres up to temperature. He is. And going backwards because he's not fast, apparently. Last lap was a 147.8 compared to Piastri's 146.2 despite default, which I'm going to assume is ERS because it doesn't seem to be holding him up. It is indeed ERS. It's not holding him up at all, whereas Sainz, I suspect, is. It's easy to notice these things now. Norris has a 36-second buffer as he comes in. As Magnussen is just barely spared the ignominy of being lapped in Belgium. Still got 15 laps once he comes back out again. I mean, it's entirely Hauger's fault for driving into the back of him, which weirdly... Oh no, he would have served the penalty for already. Good pit stop? Nah, functional. I mean, it's a good pit stop by anyone's standards, really, but at this stage, people are doing a 1.9 regularly. But he still has... What's the gap to Piastri? How long is an actual pit stop here? I thought pit stops in Belgium were actually quite slow in reality, but the first marker point that's made that they both take is he lost 16 seconds. 17 seconds in the pit stop. He still has a 20-second lead as Maloney gets Piastri. Should have been paying attention to that. And gets DRS. You beautiful boy. You did that perfectly. You overtook him in Eau Rouge after the detection point. I'm sorry. You have just done what I think you've done there. What is that drive? Just absolute power. 15 laps might drive away. We might be a bit overpowered at Belgium. But seriously, how badly did the rain hamper us then? I mean, I know we ended up about 7 seconds in the end, but we had to fight for that. I think realistically, realistically, I don't think I actually need to push with Norris. And now Maloney's well out of Piastri's range. I don't think I need to push with him either. Oh, sorry, I forgot you were still deploying. Oh, yeah, you need to conserve fuel again, don't you? Just make sure you got this little bit in. Norris is lapping people. He's got both Hauger and Hamilton. Oh, I had a panic there. I saw someone falling down the order and it was an orange thing. It was Lawson going into the pits. Weirdly on lap 39. I think someone may have had a moment, though. Yeah, Drogovic did. Might as well watch it. There's not really been much else to watch since those pit stops. So he was 9th and goes straight on there. Not hard enough to go straight into the wall. Gets himself back going again and ends up 11th. Is a sneaky point for Mercedes potentially here, actually. That's a rarity in this world. 2 points it could be for Vesti. Good lord. Living the dream. As Leclerc is actually on a soft. I don't know how Vesti's got away with that. He's not keeping that. There's 4 laps to go. I'm just recovering fuel. In fact, actually, I might just conserve so I can go all out for a couple of laps. I want to do a lap basically. Well, Norris has got clean air, so basically both drivers have the opportunity just to have a lap at maximum pace. Watching Vesti, who's now 11th. Oh no, he's 11th. He's running out of tyres, in fairness, but Claire held on for 8th though. Not bad. A lot of people struggling though with their cars right now. So Lawson's outside the points. This really helps our McLaren fight. Great points for Gasly. Sargent struggling with his car. I'll watch their second times come in. Because Lando's going to make this count while he's got clean air, because he is coming up on the back of Albon in 19th. Sargent gains another mechanical fault that isn't the original mechanical fault that he has, because his thing's not got worse there. It is a green, it's not a purple. Maloney currently holds the fastest lap, so it's going to our team either way. But I am wary of the fact there are teams on newer tyres, like Lawson, for instance, who did a 1:45.6. It's not fast, actually. Maloney went faster. It is a purple for Lando. Yeah, this has very much been in our wheelhouse here. Maloney's actually not done the middle sector yet, and Lando's about to finish the lap. Just a green. Does Lando take fastest lap? He does. That should do us. 1:41.2. Jesus. All things on the go. I think he's got the edge. He does have the marginally better car. He has a faster top speed in it. But yeah, there's no point pushing these tyres because... Oh, he's actually done his lap as Zane, so no point inciting an incident there. Is Lando going to catch Albon on the final lap? He is going to catch Albon on the final lap. Vesti is somehow 9th again because of, I'm guessing, Verstappen's car deteriorating. So despite the fact his tyres are essentially shot, Vesti has actually held people up. They've got to go round one more time, though. Although he does only have Porsche for company. I think Vesti will end up 10th. Nonetheless, I'm weirdly rooting for Mercedes now in all this as well. But with 4 tracks in a row where we are predicted first, this could be our dominance era. Oh, calm down, Lando. Vesti holds off Porsche. It's 2 points potentially. But all admin at the end there. As Maloney pushes Magnussen out of the way. Or Hauger, which one it was. To finish P2. 20 seconds ahead of Piastri, who admittedly did have a massive fault. It was the RS. And Sainz had a... Sainz is the weird one because we will never know how good he was. Piastri was only ERS, so he couldn't fight when we were deploying. And he couldn't do that cycle. So they would have lost serious time by not having that. His generic lap, like kind of unpushing in comparison, was similar to ours. Like when we weren't pushing and he wasn't pushing, they were doing a similar pace. But he was on stops to the very end as well. He was one-stopping, which was a less optimal strategy, and ended up 20 seconds behind. If we fully pushed, we would have ended up further ahead, though, in fairness, and that was about 16 seconds faster. I don't really know where it settles out. I think Maloney ends up about 10 faster than Piastri in the end. I think if you factor that back out again, but then again, he did have a slow pit stop, so to lead at that 48 is slightly flattering, but not massively so. It's just, this very much suits our strengths. It's no point actually watching that because Zane's on the podium, so we can't see it. But 26 points for Lando, 18 for Zane, 15 for Oscar. Pierre with the incredible drive for 5th. Porsche for a great drive for 7th. Vesti didn't hold off. Oh no. I thought he had it. He was ahead at the end of the detection point, so he absolutely just lost it in the middle, really, somewhere. Did he get anyone on count back? He has actually got a second point somewhere along the line. Don't know when that happened. Sargent got a point in the sprint. I got confused there why he had a point. Well, yeah, 26 total points for Zane, 33 total points for Lando. That does make things interesting in the drivers as well. Brings Lando very much into that mix. And constructors-wise, very much gives us second on the verge of a board meeting. Lando's best pit stop was a 2.2. And yet, wow. No, they were both the same, really. Big regulation changes, of course, next year, so we'll have to fight them next time. But as good as we are right now, this will fall away from us. But this is how it should. I'll be pulling one. Nice. And she's back on top of the back of that because Emma Matt got nothing and Nutdoll got 2. What feels to be like a maximum, it's probably not a maximum, but an enormous 39 points there. Tim falls prey to Victor Martins is apparently retiring at the end of this year. Good points all, actually, for both Bogdanovic and Carpentier. Still stay 5th and 6th, but move up closer to the front. Don't move up 10 points for Bianca in that, actually, last race. I knew it was at 1 place as a result, but because they got 13. Happy with that. Or we lost side pods. We're developing a side pod, aren't we? Oh, we actually lost it on both cars. Get them doing 2 of them. Oh, actually, no, the side pod's completed in 8 days. So actually, we'll get them doing 1 of them because I still want to spare because we won't be able to get them on the car in time. But yeah, get a 3rd one back in before the new one arrives. And then we start manufacturing the new one, obviously off the back of that. Front wing, we will not get to enjoy. Actually, Lando might be able to enjoy a new front wing, just 1, because we'll have 3 days. Could work out for us. Yeah, Lando's getting the special treatment this year. And something I haven't actually mentioned. But bear in mind, of course, Lando replaced Mick for this season. Zane was our primary driver. Zane is effectively our benchmark of where our car is in comparison to last year, because he was the better driver last year. Now, bear in mind, he'll have a slight mentality drop for being worse, but overall, he shouldn't have really lost too much mentality. So Zane's kind of the benchmark. Even though he's 87 rated and Lando's only 3 higher, it's not a huge difference, but for whatever reason, Lando has been able to overcome the challenges of the car in the early part of the season, where Zane didn't. Zane was the true litmus test of where the car was at that point in time. The only reason why we're in the Constructors is Lando. 50 points is our gap to McLaren. He has 68 more points than Zane. If he was matching him, or if he was Mick and worse, in theory, we would definitely be 3rd right now. So that puts into perspective just how much the AI had an insane jump at the start of the season that I didn't even pull back at that point. It seems by the stability, I mean, it's not been a huge amount of time calendar-wise, bear in mind. There were 3 back-to-back weekends, but we did start here. It does seem like it's stabilized a little bit because there was no huge. We didn't actually go backwards between Britain and Belgium at all. Nobody seemed to report an upgrade for Britain, and nobody seemed to report an upgrade for Belgium. At least in our area of the pack, there could have been changes lower down that won't have affected us in terms of our overall ranking. But we know that nobody who was 5th or 3rd or 4th fastest as a car went ahead of us. Nor did we go ahead of course. We didn't go ahead in this period, but we did go ahead of them for Belgium. So we know that they did improve between Britain and Belgium. So it does seem like their improvements have stabilized. They are not jumping an insane amount every single week. Because admittedly, this is only a fortnight. Since Austria, I've not seen a huge jump by anyone. We have put the new thing on the car, and it has had the effect that it should have had. There might be an argument to come off easy mode in the settings now. There might be an argument for that, but I will just still monitor it up to the summer break. In fact, actually, let's check this regulation vote because it has come in. Everyone voted for it apart from McLaren and Red Bull, which was the right people to vote against it because they're the ones that get hurt by it. Guarantee, because they're 1 and 2, well, 1 and 3 in the championship. I voted against our best interest for the sake of the save. So actually, this has gone right. There was something, actually. I remember in the patch notes in one of the patches recently that seemingly was to do with them voting more logically. It is strange that a team like maybe Ferrari, who maybe aren't that great right now, and a team like Haas, who are doing well right now, have voted for it. Because you'd think like a team like Haas would want to capitalise on having more. They wouldn't want to hamstring themselves development-wise now. Now they've got some momentum, they don't want to hamstring themselves. So I don't really know why they vote for it. But McLaren and Red Bull voting against it, absolutely the right thing. Teams at the very back are voting for it, absolutely the right thing. Williams specifically, RB don't seem to be that great right now. Alpine, Merc seem to be terrible right now. Them all voting for it, sensible. Realistically, Ferrari maybe should have voted against it. Haas definitely should have voted against it. But I was about to say I'll do the board members actually after the Netherlands, so I can't do that. I will see you next time though. If you've enjoyed this, we will have to capitalize on this. So like we're still only amazing in tyre preservation, high speed, and DRS effectiveness, and we're good at top speed, but not massively so. It is a small margin on that one. And we're bang averaging basically everything else except for dirty air, which we suck at. so we can't really follow other cars that well. But nonetheless, we will have the side pods. In fact, actually, we're not ranked first, weirdly, at Italy. No, hang on, who's first? A car has gone ahead of us. I want to know what's happened here. I can't find. I don't know what it is. It might be a case of just actually people not having parts in their cars and things like that, and weirdly working around it. It might be something to do with that. I don't know what's going on, but we'll find out. But if you have enjoyed that, we'll obviously continue this next time with Zandvoort and Monza, which is another sprint weekend. There's only 2 races in a row, but it is the end of that because Baku and Singapore then become tracks that we're not good at, despite the fact Zayn has the lap record a couple of years ago. We're not good at these tracks at this point in time, in theory. I think Azerbaijan, we are artificially lower than we should be in the prediction because it doesn't factor in the DRS as a major useful thing to have, which realistically it does have with a long DRS on the main straight and then a second DRS immediately after that. DRS is quite powerful if you can then get out of it by the next time round. So in theory, our DRS should be quite good here. There, in the same way that it's good at Monza, and Zandvoort is not a DRS thing, but it's good for high-speed cornering, which we're excellent at. So we'll simulate Zandvoort, we'll play sprint at Monza, of course, and then we'll see you after the summer break for a string of races which won't necessarily be to our strengths. So it's all about putting the points on the board now. So if you enjoyed this, do like, comment, subscribe. Until next time, ta-ra.